You're going to have to figure out who you're going to write it to. Okay, you've got all these people you can write to, but you're probably more than likely going to be writing to either me or your special teachers. Remember that this is not going to be your only means of communication. If you have something you want to ask me right away, you need to pick up the phone or you need to email my D11 email address. Otherwise, we're going to have some issues, okay? Because I don't check this email as frequently as I check the other. Okay, then you got to put in a subject, question, and then you have to go ahead and type a message to me. Okay, without doing these 3 parts, finding a user, finding a subject, and putting in the details, you are not going to be able to send. So once you're ready to send the email, hit send. Right now I don't want to send it to me because I don't have anything important to say to myself. And that's going to be your email feature. If you have mail, it's actually going to be the envelope is going to be opened and there's going to be a little letter popping out. So that's a good indication of how you figure out when you have mail. This right here is called your portfolio. This is going to be where you find your grades. This is also going to be a great way for your parents to figure out if you've been doing your work or not. Okay, so one of the questions is going to be, what does the backpack do? The backpack tells you your grades and what assignments you've been working on. Okay, of course, this first tab says recent work. It's going to show you recent work for today, the week, and the month. And right here, it's going to tell you your status. If the entire thing is blue, that means you've completed the assignment and handed it in. Of course, right here it says assignments in progress. These are all the assignments that have been assigned, and these are the assignments that have been worked on or opened. And unfortunately, the status is white because they haven't been finished. If you clicked on completed, you're going to see that the completed is done. And if you ever want to see the details, this is where you're going to see what your grade is going to be. Of course, I have not graded this assignment yet, so there's not going to be a grade. And then, of course, this cool little report feature is going to be a great one for you parents who want to generate a report to see what grades are possibly for the week, for the month, or a date range that you have chosen. Okay, so once again for the verification, what does the backpack do? The backpack is a good way to see your progress for work as well as finding out what your grades are. Just a few more things that I want to talk a little bit about Compass is you have this right here. This is called the Odyssey Writer icon. Odyssey Writer is just another version of doing a Word document. You can click on it and you can actually start typing up an assignment. Let's say I went ahead and signed you a book report and you need to get started on it and you're going to write in it. You can go ahead and you'll just start typing your name, and then you just start typing your assignment, whatever it is. And of course, before you're ever going to exit, and I'm going to stress this, whenever in doubt, always save. Okay, it's going to always pop up and say, do you want to save this project? You're going to say yes. It'll want a name, test, you say okay. Of course, please make sure you give it the name that you're going to remember. Okay, if it is a book report, I would put book report. If it is going to be a math assignment, I would write, let's say it's lesson 3-3. I would type in lesson 3-3 and save it that way. Otherwise, if you're going to name everything the same, you're not going to be able to find it. Okay, so that's not necessarily the wisest choice to go about. This right here is called Returned Odyssey Writer Project. So any projects that have been returned, it's just a good way to go ahead and check this feature. You can click on it. It's going to come up and show you returned assignments that have been returned and if they've been graded. Okay, so obviously the journal was returned. You can click on it. You can open it. And then, of course, you'll be able to see that here's the journal prompt. And then you can check to see what the grade is. The grade was an F. You can then see the comments. And it says this is an unacceptable journal prompt and I would like you to redo the assignment. You will find it back on your Launchpad renamed as second at the end. And that's only because this person got that grade because they said, I really don't like this prompt, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, and so this is a good way for you to check to see, okay, I didn't do this assignment, so I need to go ahead and make sure I do it right the first time. Notice that this isn't illuminating anymore, okay? If it's not illuminating anymore, that means there are no more assignments that you can check. Okay, let's say you have multiple assignments and you clicked on it and then it stopped making that illumination look. You can always go back to My Portfolio and find it that way. This here is a new feature called the Toolkit. The Toolkit, if you click on it, is an interesting way to go ahead and get some help. Let's say you need some help in, say, math in general. Okay, it gives you some options of how to do some working with algebra tiles, base 10 blocks, there's a calculator, there's counters, there's data representation, there's even fraction strips, geometric transformations, as well as coordinate graphing, even shapes. This is a great way is if you're doing an assignment, and let's say it's a bookwork assignment, and you don't have manipulatives to work with, you can work with these manipulatives that they actually give you here in Compass. And they're helping you create maybe a three-dimensional shape. Okay, let's say I want to make, they say the property, this is a face of a cube. Okay, and you can count the faces. You can then count, I do believe, the edges. You know, in the properties here, it says, okay, a cube has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. All right, what if that was a question on your work, your math assignment? I have no problem if you're utilizing your resources, okay? This isn't cheating, this is helping. All right, and if you can't visually have something in front of you, the next best thing is to use a tool here. And so I suggest you use this toolkit if you ever get into a bind. All right, one last thing I want to tell you about Compass is if you're done, okay, you're done with assignments, make sure you're always looking for a Compass X. Don't always close out by hitting the X in the browser. Always look for a Compass X or Compass saying exit, an assignment if it says exit. Sometimes when you're doing assignments, it won't register that you've completed the assignment unless you've exited the proper way. So before just hitting the browser X, which is normally for PCs, computers, you're going to locate it on the right hand side. For Macintosh, it's going to be on the left hand side. But before you go ahead and click out of it, make sure you identify the proper way to click out so that you get the credit where the credit is due. All right, with that being said, I just want to go over a couple things because you are going to be asked to answer a few questions. One of the questions was, what does the backpack do? Well, the backpack helps you get your grades and see the progress of your work. What icon do you push when you want to send in your assignments? You're going to push in that icon that is the little hand with the letter. Do I hand in the placeholder assignments? You should know this. I've said it a few times. Please do not hand in those placeholder assignments. I'm just going to keep reassigning them to you. I don't want you guys to have to do work that you're not supposed to do. And also, how do you watch a web link? Of course, whenever you're in an assignment, if that or if that web link tab is available, if you click on it, that web link is going to show up. With that being said, that goes ahead and concludes this link. If you have further questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to ask.